Welcome to Marvel Champions Podcast, a podcast about Marvel Champions, the card game. I'm your host, Scott, and with me, as always, my co-host, Ryan.
That is right, my brother, and it has finally come to the point of the end of the year awards.
Ryan, the red carpet is rolled out. My tuxedo is on. Gonna be a good night.
Now, is it a real tuxedo, or is it one of those tuxedo shirts?
It's a t-shirt.
Yeah, I'm actually wearing a Hawaiian shirt right now.
Okay. Interesting choice.
It's a fancy Hawaiian shirt, and I'm looking real good for this ceremony.
Yeah, it's going to be pretty good. That one night a year, everybody gets all dolled up, and we're going to talk some awards for Marvel Champions tonight.
I am so excited. We've gathered all of the submissions for our end of year survey, and there's some really interesting things going on, and I'm excited to discuss what we think and what the fans think.
Yeah, each of our awards tonight will have our picks and then also the picks from the community. So this will be good. Our listeners.
All right, shall we open the curtain and begin the claps?
Yes. So let's recap a little, Ryan. Let's start with everybody's favorite part of the game, I guess. Let's recap some of those heroes of 2024.
Heroes 2024 category. That's the announcement thing.
Yeah, I got it. Thanks.
All right,
Ryan. 2 coming out of a box, beginning of the year. Who we got?
We had Magic and Bishop. Now, of course, I took Bishop through the campaign, and Bishop's a pretty strong hero. He's got a lot going for him. A unique design focused on resources, and he had a lot of punch, a lot of thwart, a lot of big damage. He was a pretty strong hero this year.
Yeah, Bishop was pretty good. At first, I was questioning, how well can you use resources like he did, and with his stat line of 2-2-1, and how he was able to kind of take damage, but it wasn't completely detrimental to him. Sometimes you're able to kind of come out ahead taking damage.
Yeah.
And it was pretty cool. Yeah, it's a good concept of Bishop. I liked it. And the next hero in that box, who I took through the campaign, was Magic. Another mystic added to the game. Very powerful. Introduced a new way to play with that kind of limbo aspect, having that top card face up on the top of your deck, kind of knowing a little bit of what's going on, able to game plan with that. I thought she added a lot of cool new mechanics to the game.
Yeah, I really liked her ability to know what's on top of the deck, manipulate that to make your turns awesome. I felt that she could do all sorts of different things depending on what the circumstance required, and just pulling cards out, making them cheaper. She was really powerful.
Pretty good. Our next hero we had that came out was everyone's coolest X-Men, Iceman.
That's right. And he had also a little uniqueness to him, coming in with those upgrades. Those, was it Frozen?
Yep.
I forgot what they're called. Frozen, right?
Frostbite. I think it's Frostbite.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think it's Frostbite. And I thought those were really unique. I think they were really powerful when you got them on, and I loved how they stacked. And you could really just well on a villain and make them super weak, and you could do a lot of interesting things with his cards. And of course, everything is ice, and so it made paying for a lot of things really fun.
Yeah, I think the only thing I have to add there is I do like how you were able to stack them, and you kind of had this new way of playing and fighting against the villain to just take their their scheme and their attack down to 0.
Yeah.
Which I really liked.
Yeah. It wasn't It wasn't always you could stack, but generally it felt like at least once a turn, you're getting a frostbite on somebody.
Right. And then be able to kind of use some of those to spread them and then deal damage to everybody that has a frostbite. I like those. That was good.
Yep, yep, yep. And then, of course, everyone's favorite mall rat came up after Iceman, and that is Jubilee fireworks. Pew, 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 pew. And she had some different things, and I think the biggest thing that I notice of her is being able to, well, her main mechanism, which is the different resource types being played and just how they played off that. It made you kind of rethink how you did some of your deck building to make sure you kind of had a balance so that you can maximize what she can do. And of course, my two favorite upgrades of hers, her coat and her sunglasses. I don't know how they make her attack and thwart better, but they do, and they're very helpful for her deck.
Yep. I agree. I think if you're somebody that likes to confuse and stun villains, she can do that very easily. And I think for me, like, she made me rethink how I build some decks and play some decks, like you had mentioned, with those resource types, and not trying to reduce the cost of things, which was kind of a new way to play for me. So it was a good addition.
Yeah,
All right.
yeah.
Everybody's favorite circus attraction, the amazing Nightcrawler,
Ooh.
which bamfing into our hearts this year, Nightcrawler. He brought a new way to play protection, being able to defend multiple times without having to exhaust, which was a really cool new way to play protection. Very strong defense out of the box there. Got stronger, able to retaliate. So if you're a protection, defensively minded player, Nightcrawler is probably right up your alley.
Yeah, I think if you are a protection first type player, Nightcrawler is perfect in that category. But even outside of protection, I think he has some really good things he can do. Leadership he can be successful at, aggression he can be successful at. He's got some great upgrades that really make him powerful, especially his cutlasses, giving him +1 attack, +1 defense, and retaliate. It's essential to get that out. It's so good. And then probably, even though his most powerful card, Teleport Drop, is really fun to pull off, Port and Punch, if you can max that out, that's a really fun card to play.
Yeah, there's been a couple of good spread events in this wave of heroes, which are really satisfying when you get them to work either at their full max or close to it.
Yeah. And speaking of trying to make things work for heroes, the next one is everyone's favorite villain that turns hero at some point in the comics, and in this game, Magneto. And of course, my reference on that one thing I just said was wrapped in metal and his magic missile combo, which is incredibly fun to pull off for Magneto, but doesn't always hit. But even without those, he's got a whole lot going for him with his magnetic pull, and he just has a lot of strong things about him.
Now, Ryan, I do have to do a small correction. You called it his magic missile. It's actually his magnetic missile.
Oh, yeah, I guess I got a little D&D in there. Oh, well.
But you're right. He's got a good base stat line. His ability to pull his kit cards out pretty consistently. Some extra resources in his kit. Was pretty strong. I think for me, he turned out to be a little better than I was anticipating. So he comes out pretty good, well-rounded. I think he's kind of a all-purpose kind of hero.
Yeah, I agree. This year, these heroes, I don't think there really was a dud hero. I think the designers did great with all these heroes, and we got a really strong wave, I feel like.
Yeah, I'm with you. I felt like most of these hit pretty well. I think there's a couple low spots for some players, but on the opposite side of that, though, I don't feel like we had what most would consider like an OP or S tier level hero, in my opinion. I just felt like they were all, and I think we had talked about this a little bit in some offline conversation, that most of our reviews felt very samey. Everybody's kind of anywhere from like a high B to like a middle to high A.
Yeah.
Nobody really fell really short, but no one really surpassed that into that S tier level.
Yeah, yeah. I would say the last wave had more of those differentials, but this one, yeah, they're very neck and neck all the way. And I think depending on the deck you build, and of course, I think some can get higher and lower, is essentially what it turns out. But overall, I would say they're just all good heroes.
Yep, it's a pretty solid wave. I think they're kind of in that stride of in heroes where they be. Pretty good.
Yep. All right.
All right, Ryan. Do we go ahead and give a couple awards out?
Let's
Our
do
heroes?
it. Let's do it.
All right.
All right.
So we have 2 awards in this category. It's the hero category. We have best new hero or favorite new hero, and then least favorite new hero.
All right. So, for the favorite new hero, my favorite. Now, I should say favorite. That doesn't necessarily mean they're the best, like the strongest attack or strongest sword or whatever. It's just the one that I enjoyed playing the most. And that generally also means they were good. I think I enjoyed playing Magik the most. That was my favorite hero this year.
Okay. Well, this is very interesting and awkward, Ryan, because I thought overall the favorite one for me, the one that I think I had the least expectations of that I was going to like, but actually was the one I think I liked the most for this wave, was Bishop.
That's insane.
Funny that we switched.
I'm honestly really surprised that you chose Bishop, because I didn't think you didn't like him, but generally when we play our campaign boxes, whoever we played is the one that we like, and we just never really play the other one. So yeah. The fact that we switch is really crazy for how we play.
Yeah. And now we get to hear from the community, and let's just say that we have a really cool community, because it was very close between Magik and Bishop, but Bishop squeaked out the award from our community
by a single vote.
By one single vote. Your vote matters. That one vote.
That was really crazy. Congratulations, Bishop. And I should note, just for fun, the third place tie, there was a 3 player or 3 hero tie, but I don't want to say them because it may reveal the least favorite new hero.
Our next award.
Yes.
The next award was pretty evident from a community standpoint.
Oh, yes.
So, and we worded these in a way where it's not that they're bad, but just as a player, your least favorite hero from this wave. And that could go into art, that could go into play style, mechanics, different things like that. Maybe the aspect that came with, who knows? So this isn't a reflection of the character, but somebody's got to get the award, right?
Someone's got to get it.
And for me, and this one hurts me, Ryan, because I was anticipating this to be my favorite,
Oh
and
no.
he just did not hit the way I wanted. And my
Oh
least favorite of this wave,
no.
unfortunately for me, goes to Iceman.
No. He's one of your favorite
I know,
heroes.
that's why it hurts so much.
Oh man. I am sorry, Scott. Mine is also Iceman.
Oh,
I,
okay.
I I too I really like what they did with Iceman, but the biggest issue that I think it comes down to between the probably well, I'll just say the community chose Jubilee as the least favorite hero. And Jubilee is my second least favorite, but I felt I could do more with Jubilee when I played than I felt like I could with Iceman. And so because of that, he gets the award.
Yeah, that's interesting, Ryan. I was not anticipating you picking Iceman. So,
Did you
and
did
just
you
to
think
kind of
Jubilee?
I was thinking Jubilee, yeah, for you.
Yeah. Ah, okay.
It just kind of a point of clarification. We have not discussed our award winners with each other, so these are all fresh hot takes.
Yes, we are not acting surprised.
What? Yeah.
What? I should note that for the least favorite hero, Jubilee won by over 50%. So the community definitely feels that Jubilee was the least.
Yes, that is true. That is true.
All right. Well, shall we move on to our next category, which we did not ask on the survey?
Now this one's a little bit more of a kind of interlude, breaking up a couple of the awards. I think we're going to talk a little bit about what was new, what new outside of villains and hero were added to the game for 2024. So we're going to talk some of those high points and maybe not give an award, maybe, who knows. I think we just kind of talk about a few of these and maybe pick our favorites.
Yeah. Yeah. So I think I guess instead of saying like the best new addition to the game, we could just say the the best moments of this year of the game. So the one I will start off with is the introduction of Standard 3. And I think that was a very interesting thing they kind of sprung on us with the box, and I liked the direction that they went. It created a different dynamic in the game that's not just Shadows of the Past. It's like a Shadows of the Past. You know it's coming. You can kind of prep for it in a way, and I just liked how it flowed. I felt like it flowed a little bit smoother overall.
I agree with you. I think it was a good balance where it wasn't too hard, too fast, but it definitely took it up a notch from kind of standard 1. And I like that it didn't just add steady to things. I think this is, for me, that like middle ground if I want to play maybe a little harder standard game but not quite expert. This was that perfect spot that I think they needed to be at.
Yeah, yeah.
All
What do you
right.
think about the next edition?
The next edition is they did a rules update this year. Reference 1.6.
Woo!
I'm trying to think of any like big rule changes that come out of it, but nothing comes to the top of my head.
I think it was a lot of just solidifying things that they have been discussing through like questions that have been posted to them and like that show up on Hall of Heroes. So like the difference between dealing damage and taking damage and stuff like that.
I think some more like valid target things
Yes.
were added or clarified. So I think overall it was a good addition. I don't think there was anything like massively game changing. But
No, there was no like defense change like there has been in the previous one.
yeah. All right, Ryan. So, part of their 5-year celebration, they have been doing weekly one-shots.
Yes.
And what was your take on some of the one-shots?
I think it was really good for the community to have these one shots. It created opportunities for players to try different things and like sanctioned not playing by the rules by Fantasy Flight, so the police didn't come get you.
Oh yeah.
I liked how they changed some things up, and it just created a good community opportunity to explore. And some of them weren't as good as others, but I think there were definitely some winners on some of these one shots.
Yeah, I think there was definitely some one shots that are worth playing and visiting again. And I like what you said, adding kind of some different complexities or challenges to them was definitely a good way to help with maybe some people who need that little bit of extra that maybe don't think of like, oh yeah, I could do this with this scenario. It kind of does that for them, and they just have to go do it, which I think is
Yeah.
good. And like you
Yeah.
said, they were sanctioned things, so it makes me feel like they want the game to do the best that it can. And they're adding extra little details. They're just not like, we gave you a whole box and 4 heroes. What more do you want from us? So
Yeah, yeah. And along with the one shot, they decided, I mean, it's not like directly related to the one shot, but community outreach, they decided to do a campaign contest number 2.
numero dos.
Yes, they came out with another opportunity for people to make a custom campaign for the game and submit them, and there's prizes. I would love to say that they have already announced them, but due to some unfortunate circumstances, that has been delayed until next year. But I'm probably not going to put it on our next year's award. But
Ryan, I'm gonna go ahead and start the year-end 2025 little word pad here, and I'm gonna put it on there right now.
okay, well, you overruled. All right,
No, no,
especially
yeah,
if we
but
win, right?
yeah, if we win, it's definitely going on there. But
That is the single best moment of the game.
yeah, that'll just get the award. We'll just do that, and then we'll end the episode.
Yeah, yeah. So out of these 4, what would you say was something that you really stood out to you the most?
I think, like, to me, when I think of this mini award, I think of what has the best long-lasting impact to the game. And for me personally, I think it's Standard 3.
Fair enough. I think for me, it's kind of a combination of the one shots and campaign. I just like the community outreach, just trying to say, hey, players, we hear you. We want to introduce some fun new things to play the game. So you're not on your own, just playing the same thing over and over. Let's do some fun things. And so I really liked that.
Yeah, I can see that. Hey, bust out those decks, dust off those old villains. Yeah, it's good.
Yeah, yeah. Right on. Well, shall we move to the next portion of our awards ceremony?
Yeah, there's always a yin to a yang, Ryan. We've talked some heroes. Now let's talk some villains.
And then let's do a quick recap of those villains. There are 5 that came out. No scenario pack this year. Sad face. But there was some pretty good villains. Let's you want to start us off with the first one?
Yeah, we'll bust out with Eunice coming at us with a bunch of minions, some infinites. He had a permanent side scheme, which was could be punishing. To me, the best thing for him is if that kind of got out of control, it made him stronger. So you had this balance of making sure you kept that under control so the game didn't spiral out of control for you. And I've had some really fun games with Eunice, so
yeah, I agree. I think he's a good, solid first villain. I've played him solo where he, like you said, his infinites get out of control and I lose. And I like that a first scenario can beat me. So it has some unique things. I love just how it operates. It's very simple, but is constantly changing. So I think it's a very strong scenario for this box.
Yep.
And then comes the next villain, the Four Horsemen, the Age of Apocalypse's multi-villain scenario. Now, this scenario is pretty unique, as in it is tough and it hits you with all sorts of different pain dealing aspects. If you want your text box blank, this is going to do it. If you want to lose upgrades, this will do it. If you want to discard cards, do it. If you want to take damage, bam, it does it all. And I think that diversity really poses a challenge to players.
Yeah, this one, to me, it fixed a couple of the older multi-villain mechanics that I think you were able to kind of loophole and kind of game the game with. So I do like that. It is a very iconic scenario of villains.
Oh, yeah.
Being able to kind of take, you can get a little reprieve if you're able to get them down to 0 health. So it wasn't always punishing, but they are pretty punishing.
Yep, they're constantly coming after you. And along with that,
Ryan, I'm going to let you take this first apocalypse because I want the last apocalypse.
All right. Well, this is Apocalypse 1 is what I'm going to call it. His name is just Apocalypse. And this is the box's story scenario. It has a lot of similarities with Hela, where you fight a minion and the minion's kind of guarding the side scheme, and you're working through that side scheme to eventually get to the point where you can beat Apocalypse. And Apocalypse is super unique because he has 4 stages, though you generally only play with 3. It creates a different dynamic, and he can be pretty tough, especially if you're not good at attacking or thwarting. He can really well on you on either side of the court, so watch out.
Yep, he was definitely a good addition. That kind of work your way through the dungeon levels feel. That's kind of how I feel it plays like. Kind of work your way through the stages of the level. I really like that. I think this is definitely one that plays a little more thematic. You got some big minions in there you got to deal with, some iconic kind of mini villains. So definitely a good addition. All right, Ryan. The next villain in this way was Dark Beast. His time-traveling shenanigans.
Ooh.
He introduced 3 new modular sets that you play with, jumping through different time and places and a lot of minions, a lot of interactions, a lot of specials on the environments going off, a lot going on, manipulating genetics of things. So very Zola, reminiscent of Zola. I think a pretty good villain scenario.
Yeah, I liked the 3 encounter sets it includes. I'm a big fan of environments. I think, for example, Mojo is very fun because of the environments that it introduces with its encounter sets. And I think this is very similar. I like how it changes, and it changes the game and how you operate your character to fight the villain.
Yep. Definitely puts up a lot of roadblocks trying to get to Apocalypse. Rounding out our 5 villains is Apocalypse, or Ensabanor. This shape-shifting villain, a first 3-sided villain card.
What?
Yeah, he'll take you through different changes of forms, and he'll do it randomly, or you will have to defeat something, and when that's defeated, he'll change, and he can kind of mess up your plans. You can't plan too far ahead with him, because he'll just change on you. Yeah, pretty strong. A lot of different forms. The forms do kind of something unique when they change, so you get a little bit of everything with him. I really like this one.
Yeah, I agree. I think it is an incredibly solid scenario in the campaign and outside the campaign. It's hard, but it's not relentlessly punishing. It changes constantly, and just like how I mentioned the environments, this is constantly changing the status quo of what Apocalypse is doing. Is he retaliating? Is he overkilling? Is he stalwart? I mean, all all sorts of different things change, and I really like that diversity.
I think if you sum up the 2024 villains, I think this was a pretty solid 5 villain
Yeah.
introduction to the game. I think it's pretty good. They're, I think kind of the same. I think they were kind of high. None were like game changing, but I don't really feel like there was too many duds either. So just kind of that average.
Yeah, I think overall the box was a good box, and I think the community would agree with that. It had some really good things, and it was a very strong box. I don't know what more to say other than it was good.
All right, Ryan, it's now time to give out some more awards. These nice, shiny, champion statues we got here.
That's right. That's right. I am excited for this. The community is confusing on these next two, to say the
This-
least.
The very, I think this might be a first time in history that we've seen this scenario. So we'll wait. We'll talk about it after we announce the winners. And we did the very similar. We did the best new villain, and we did the least played new villain. Because, like I said, I don't think anyone was bad. I don't think there's any, like, garbage ones. But there has to be a winner for each of these awards, and we got to give it out. So let's start with best new villain for Marvel Champions of 2024.
And the winner is, from my point of view, Apocalypse. Now, which one? I'm actually, when we did our review, I chose Apocalypse, the third scenario, story one. But I'm actually going to change it to Apocalypse, the final fifth villain.
Wow, that is throwing me off, Ryan. I thought for sure you were going with the first Apocalypse.
I it's been more recent, but I played Hella not too long ago, and I was like, this is basically the same scenario. I mean, there are differences. There's absolutely differences, but it felt very similar, and I was like, I like Hella, and I like this one, but I wish there was a little bit more difference. And when I came back to it and just thought about when we played that final Apocalypse, it was just so solid of a scenario that I was like, I've gotta just go with that one.
All right, Ryan. Well, let's just say that great minds think alike. My award for best new villain is Apocalypse and Sabanor.
Oh, I knew that was
Best new
happening.
multi-villain scenario in the game. I'm sticking to it.
Okay, there you go. That was your big hot take when we did that episode, if I remember
Yeah,
right.
I just think he does it right. The 3 different forms, the changing, the timing, keeping you kind of on your toes, and things just kind of change. I like it. He's got some big upgrades, some big side schemes. He just all around, I think, is good.
Yeah, I think you bring up a really good point. I think a really good multi-villain scenario changes the landscape when they come into play, and that's what Apocalypse did. Every time he switched, something was changing because of which each one did, and it was similar to like Loki. It was almost like they saw Loki and said, how can we make it even better? And Apocalypse was what it was.
Was born. Yep.
Yeah.
All right, Ryan. The community has spoken for best new villain scenario,
I don't know why it's this one,
and
but
the winner goes to the Four Horsemen.
how in the world is it the Four Horsemen?
I am not sure. Coming in a close second for the community was the second Apocalypse. So most of the community and our listeners got it right, but the award for them went to the Four Horsemen.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. All right. Well, community, I hope you like Four Horsemen as you voted for it, because for the category of least played villain, it is undoubtedly Four Horsemen for me.
Yep. Same for me, Four Horsemen. And to round out the final least played award from the community with the trifecta, the Four Horsemen from the community.
What in the world?
Somehow they think it's the best one, but they play it the least.
It's literally anybody that did not choose the Four Horsemen as the best scenario chose it as the least played scenario, and vice versa. And
Yeah.
it wasn't like it was a close margin. Like, Four Horsemen on both the best villain and least played were pretty undoubtedly the Four Horsemen.
Yeah, it was an interesting turn of events, and the least played was kind of they averaged out about the same for Apocalypse One, Dark Beast, and Eunice, and then so it seems like the most played was the second Apocalypse.
Yeah, I think overall, if you combine these two, it seems like Apocalypse is the strongest.
Yeah,
The last Apocalypse in Summonor.
yeah, Apocalypse 2. Yeah, so pretty solid year for some villains. I think nothing too complicated, but also nothing too basic. So keeps you engaged with some good villain scenarios. Play them in a campaign. Ugh. Good 5 standalone scenarios for 2024.
Yeah, I think honestly, when it comes down to it, if a villain requires the campaign, I don't like it as much. And the fact that these four, you can play them outside the campaign and they are better, that's a win.
Yep, I agree.
So Scott, I have a question for you.
Okay, hit me.
Last time, on our fun awards and also on some episodes, you will throw out some rapid fire questions at me.
Ooh.
So we've got some rapid fire ones for you. Why don't I take the heroes and you can take the villain rapid fires? How's that sound?
Okay, let's do it.
Okay, rapid fire. And for the listeners, what this means is I'm going to do like a little verses. I'm going to rapid fire saying this or this, and he has to let us know why. Which one? Rapid fire, Magic versus Bishop. Go.
Magic. I know it goes against everything I already said.
Wait a second.
But I think Bishop was better for the game. That's why he got the award. But I think Magic's more fun.
Oh my, you're so confusing. I agree. Iceman, Jubilee.
I'm gotta go Jubilee. It hurts me, but I thought Jubilee was more fun.
Wow.
Yeah, I know.
And like how you changed on Magic, I think I would still probably rather play Iceman because I want to make him fun.
Okay.
Let me rephrase it. I have fun with him. I want to make him better.
Yeah.
And last but not least, Nightcrawler, Magneto.
Gonna go Magneto for me.
Oh, I would have gone with Nightcrawler.
Yeah. Magneto turned out to be better than I thought. So
Okay, all right.
Nightcrawler was good. He just got a little samey to a point for me. But he's not bad. His game's very similar.
Yeah, fair enough.
All right, let's break down villains. Rapid fire. Ready? Eunice versus Dark Beast.
It is Eunice.
Oh, surprising. Okay. What tipped the scales for Eunice over Dark Beast, right?
I have a mechanical issue, I guess, the way that Dark Beast operates, and I wish it wasn't like the way it is in some ways.
Okay.
Basically, I want to experience all of the modular sets, not just two, and I want more pressure. I want there to be like a timer like I'm hopping through time, chasing him down, and he's running away.
Okay. You want that finish line to come and go, and you lose.
Yeah, basically.
Okay. All right. This one is unique. I can't remember why we did it this way, but horsemen versus horsemen.
I think we did it as in like which horseman you'd rather
Okay.
see.
So out of the four, which one
or
would you
should we say
rather have their box go off on you? Is that?
we'll say either or. I think I prefer to probably have famine go off, which is the discard 10. And the one that I found to be the most annoying is pestilence, and that's the blanking text box.
Yeah, especially in this wave of heroes, everybody is so dependent on their text box doing things, and when those go away, they don't function very well.
Yeah.
That's probably like the worst one. And I can never remember their names, so I'm glad you said them, Ryan.
Yeah.
And then told me what they did.
I figured I'd probably mention that since the listeners might not have it right in front of their face.
Yep. All right, last one, Apocalypse from the Future or Apocalypse from the Past.
Yep, I am going to go with Apocalypse in Zabinur.
Okay.
As mentioned previously.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. That one's tough because both are good, but I think one's going to be better than the other, so...
But I do really want to play the story one. I do enjoy that one a lot.
Yeah, we replayed that one, and it was a lot more difficult than I remember the first time or two through, so...
Yeah, it also has some pretty funny art, like him falling off his chair.
Yes, it does. All right, Ryan, our next series of awards are pretty quick ones, I think. Let's go through. So we looked at all of the new aspect cards, and then we also rounded out with new basic cards.
That's right.
So let's run through some of those real quick. I don't think we talk too much about each of them as a whole. And then once we give out these awards, Ryan, we can switch over to some encounter sets.
Okay.
All right. Why don't you take two, or start with two aspects, and then we'll finish it out with two more in basic.
Well, of course, we're going to go with my favorite aspect in general, justice. And do you want me to read off all the cards or just go for it?
No, I think we go for it. I think maybe the only thing we talk about here is justice was probably the least aspect with the least additions this year.
Yeah,
so
unfortunately, I think the cards for justice that I had the most fun is, I don't know. Now that I'm thinking about it, I was like, well, I'd probably choose this one, but then I never played it as much as I should, and so I should do that one. Ultimately, I think the one that I enjoyed the most playing was Waylay, actually.
Okay.
I don't think it's really the best aspect card, but for me, every time I was able to pull it off, I really enjoyed it. But it wasn't for every hero. I had to set it up just right, and I think Jubilee was one that set it up pretty well to pull off.
Yeah. Mine's tough. I think for me, I liked Disguise as a card, but I think I like Three Steps Ahead.
Yeah, that one's really good.
It's a little expensive, but I think for what it's accomplishing, and depending on the hero, I think it's can be very good.
Yeah, that was one that I was debating on. So, but of course, the listeners did not choose either of those two. They chose Gunboat Diplomacy, which is another good one.
Yes, and that one was fairly tight. There was a lot of A lot of good options, I think, but yeah, the community, they thought Gunboat Diplomacy was the best new Justice card for the year.
Yeah, it's a alliance card, and I feel like really alliance cards in the past haven't been great, but I do think this is one of the exceptions of that. It's a really strong card.
Yeah, it's a good one. All right, Ryan, let's go over to Protection.
No.
This one got a little bit of love, not as much as Aggression and Leadership, but it introduced some good cards, a couple of good new allies. I am gonna agree that the best one here is, for me, Come Get Me, bub.
Yeah, that one, it's not my favorite, but ultimately I do see it as the best protection card. And every time I've played it, it's been really strong for me. So I would have to give it to it. Come Get Me, bub, as well.
Yep. Any way to be able to heal and get a tough, pretty powerful. And also zero cost.
Yeah. Yeah, that's
And
really nice. I mean, minions aren't always great, but hey, you work around that.
yeah, you work around them. I think it adds a way to get minions for protection, which I don't think there was much like that before. So, and the
Yeah.
community agrees with us. They gave the award to Come Get Me, bub, by a
Yeah.
very, very large margin. So,
Yeah, almost half the votes were protection, or not protection, but Come Get Me, bub.
yeah, I was hoping all the votes in this category were protection.
yeah, whatever.
All right, Ryan. What other aspect you want to go with?
I'm gonna go with leadership because I think I play that a little bit more than you do.
Okay.
Leadership had quite a few cards come out this year, and there's some pretty good ones. Let's take a quick look here. I think for me, overall, it doesn't work for every hero, but I think I kind of gonna cheat a little bit. It's gonna be sidekick slash side by side because I think well, obviously you can't play side by side without sidekick, but those combination of those two are pretty grand.
Okay. See, and I don't know if it's just I haven't played the right deck or put enough energy into it, but I really like Kid Omega. I don't know why. I just for his cost, and I just think he's pretty good. I know that's probably not the best answer, but out of the cards and all that, that's what I'm gonna go with.
Hey, it's not a bad pick. He's a pretty for 2 costs and what he can do. He's very. You can do thwart. You can do attack. It's strong. Yeah, that was a good one. But the community does not agree with you. The community does agree with sidekick.
Yep.
Yeah, like I said, it definitely is not a card for every hero. There's a good chunk of heroes that really can't utilize sidekick, but there's a decent amount that can really put that card to use.
See, I struggle a little bit because you make a good point there. Like, not all heroes can use it, and then there's some signature allies that you don't want sticking around. You want them to die and come back.
Yeah, basically any hero or any signature ally that has like a response when it enters play, it's pretty much useless.
Yeah, but
I mean, it's not useless, but yeah, it's just not as effective.
If there's a hero that you need to stay out and be there, it's definitely one that can soup them up.
Yes, absolutely.
All right, so I get to wrap up the aspects with Aggression. Aggression was another 2-hero aspect for this wave. This one was kind of all over the place, Ryan. Got a lot of different.
Yeah.
I'm doing a quick look at them here. I think for me, I trying to remember what that one does. Oops, I came
Ooh,
prepared.
all
I know it
right.
wasn't those. Okay, so no, for me, I feel the best new card for that is full body charge.
Really?
Yeah, I think it's a pretty powerful card.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's a very powerful card. It's not my favorite, but it's very powerful.
Yeah.
Um, I would have to give my award to the best new aspect card for me, though I don't think it is the really the best new aspect card for aggression. I really like Tess the Defense.
I almost picked that one, Ryan.
Really?
Yeah, that was my number two.
Wow, that's surprising. I've played that in aggression decks and just really like its passiveness to just like and you don't have to activate it when you get to 5 counters. You can just hold on to it until it's right. And you just have to attack to put one on, then you can activate it. Unless I read it wrong. I'm pretty sure it's like that.
Yeah. Another honorable mention that I think I confused full body charge with is take that.
And I think that's a really good card too.
Yeah, I like take that. So I'm gonna change my award. I just ripped it out of the hands of full body charge and I gave it to take that. So
Oh, you pulled
yeah,
a Best Picture award.
yes, I sure did. It was a
Oh,
misprint. It was a misprint on the envelope. When I
misprint,
opened it,
misprint.
it was
Yeah,
everyone
take
settle
that.
down.
Yeah, take that's really good. I think it helps a lot of different heroes.
Yeah, we got a lot of upgrade attaching this wave. I feel too, so it really helps out
Yes.
this wave
Yeah.
and some
Yeah.
older ones.
Yeah. Yeah. Shout out
But
to
Ryan,
Valkyrie.
how did the community vote on this one?
Um, Surprising. They voted for gold balls.
They like those gold balls.
I'm a little baffled. I don't think he's a bad hero, but definitely not my favorite.
Yeah.
Can't even remember what he does all of a sudden.
When gold ball attacks, discard up to 3 cards from the top of your deck. Gold ball gets plus X attack for that attack, where X is the number of cards discarded this way. And he's a
Oh, wow.
1/1, so you can discard 3 cards and make them a 4 attack.
Yeah, that is very powerful, especially if you can combo it with like a dig deep type thing.
Yeah, since you're discarding. Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
very good. All right. That takes care of the aspects.
Except
The
for one.
not so aspect is basic cards. We got a ton of basic cards, a little all over the place, a lot of allies, a couple of new cards, a couple of new ways to play. So, Ryan, why don't you hit us with some basic cards?
Oh boy. Yeah, this one's a little tough. I thought there were quite a few basic cards that were pretty strong this year. And I'm trying to remember which one I choose. Uh well, shoot. Now I'm kind of like second guessing all my choices now that I've played a few more since I've voted. um I think the card that the way I put it is if I'm able to put this card in my deck, do I put it in there? And the basic card that comes to mind is Basic Spell. If I play a Mystic, I'm playing Basic Spell. It's an awesome basic card, but it's only for Mystics, so it's very limited. But I really like Basic Spell.
All right, Ryan, I'm going to give you my 2 runners up and then my winner. So, basic spell was on there.
Okay.
And then I really like the card multi talented.
I think that one's a really strong one too. Yeah.
I think it's a good one that can play kind of universally. I really like it. But my winner and my award goes to everyone's favorite Cajun, Gambit.
Ooh, that's not a bad one. I think Gambit's a really good basic ally, better than some aspect allies.
Yes. And for me, he definitely made a name for himself. So
You know how long I've been waiting for this? Woo, I'm about to make a name for myself here.
I don't think you guys walk away from this.
You just make sure people know what happened here today.
Yeah, very solid pick. Now the community doesn't agree with our choices at all.
no, not at all. Well,
They
partially
cho-
with mine.
Well, yeah, partially with yours. Yours got a few more votes. Did mine even get voted for? Well,
Probably not.
Oh, there's a few.
3. Okay.
But the actual winner from the community is Children of the Atom, which makes total sense.
All right, Ryan. I think I asked this question maybe in Magneto, but with Children of the Atom, since they got the award from the community, which trait do you think benefits the most from that card? X-Men, X-Factor, or whatever the other one is? X-Force.
I think I said X Factor because it brings in some allies that you don't play very often. And the two that come to mind is Multiple Man and Warlock.
So X-Factor would be the right answer, except for it's not. It's X-Force.
Oh, jeez.
No.
X-Force is maybe in just like quantity. Yeah, you're probably right. But
Yeah, with heroes and what they can do. I think the X-Men have better supports than X-Factor, so that's why it helps the X-Factor heroes out a lot more, in my opinion.
yeah, if you're X Factor, you have Children of the Atom out, you can now start using those X-Men training upgrades, which are really strong.
Yep.
So,
All right, Ryan. Enough with hero things. Let's talk some encounter sets.
Oh, okay, mister.
All right, I'm trying to find my encounter sets.
There's a lot.
Yeah, there were a ton, and I think this one had the most variety. There was not one that really flew above the rest. We do have a clear winner, but this was kind of all over the place. It was nice to see not just one really rose above the rest.
Yeah, and it's funny because the one I'm going to choose was on the low end of the totem pole with the community, but my best new encounter set is Clan Akaba.
Ooh, okay. Was not expecting that one, Ryan.
Really? Yeah.
Yeah.
I really enjoy Clan Akaba. I think I like the alternative lost condition. And I liked the minions and how they play off of it. And I think it's a really strong encounter set. I really liked what it did.
Okay. All right. So one of mine, they were kind of all even, or mine that I picked that I liked the most. I think just interaction wise, playing with it, frustration with it, was Genosha.
Oh, that is a really good one. That was my number 2.
Yeah, and ironically, the 3 that come in Dark Beast all received the same amount of votes from the community. So they were
that's
pretty
kinda crazy.
even. So
Yeah,
But-
yeah.
those environment encounter sets were not the winners from the community, Ryan.
No, they were not.
And I will give a shout out to the runner-up. It had the least amount of time, but received the second amount of votes, and that was Hellfire Club.
That is very true. And I will admit, I think it's a really good encounter set.
Yeah, Kevin Bacon does not disappoint.
That's right. Never does, never will.
All right, Ryan. Ryan, why don't you tell the listeners who the winner from the community is for Best New Encounter Set of 2024?
And that is the Infinites.
First one in. Gotta take the... Do you think it's because it was the most played?
Very possible. But I think, similar to Clan Akaba, I think people like the permanent side scheme. And the Infinites has that scaling of the more threats on there, the more powerful the encounter set becomes.
Yeah, I do like that.
Yeah.
And I like that mechanic.
Yeah. And I should note, I did say when I said Clan Akaba that there was an alternate loss condition. There isn't. I misspoke.
It just makes you do bad things, yeah.
Yeah, you just draw an encounter card.
But
Or everybody gets a face down encounter card.
if it was a threshold of 10, is that what happens?
Yes, and then it drops back down to 5
Okay.
once
Yeah.
it shoots off.
Got to stay on top of it.
Yep. There are some really good encounter sets. It was hard to pick one, and I think I liked the feel of the Clan Akaba, and so that's what I went with. But I think Genosha, like you said, it's really good. I like what it does, and I hope there's more encounter sets like it. And then Infinites is good. It's a very solid one.
Yep. All right, Ryan, we have a few kind of random awards that we like to give out each year. Before we get to our main event, the reason everyone has come, and we talk about, those very deserving signature allies. And before we get to them, I think we have a few other topics we need to talk about. And as in most years, there is always a good amount of drama that goes on in the community.
That's right.
So we picked out a few of our favorites. It's not an all-encompassing list. And we didn't have the community vote on these. This is just our hot takes from two random dudes on the internet. But which one of these you want to talk about, Ryan?
I'll take the second one and the fourth one.
Okay. Second and four, I'll take 1 and 3. And I think we talk about them and then we'll give our awards.
I agree.
So the first one with the wave, and it goes back to actually before 2024. When we got some silhouettes trying to guess who all was going to be in this mutant wave. And our community drama for this one was Beast versus Magneto, that number 4 one.
Oh my.
Yeah, so Beast versus Magneto. A lot of people wanted that Magneto hero. A lot of people wanted Beast. Hank McCoy, one of the original 5 X-Men. And there was some drama around that.
He was snubbed. He was snubbed from the awards. He did not get an invite to our show.
Now, some might say we got a Dark Beast, but people were really wanting that hero.
Count.
We wanted that Hank McCoy hero.
That's right. Well, with that, the other community drama, number 2, is the rules reference release. And, slash, specifically, the teamwork update. The ruling on teamwork and how it has been changed to be less punishing. And some people don't like that, Scott.
No, there are some out there that express their dissatisfaction in the teamwork rework.
Yeah. It's always fun to note that it's one of earlier we discussed how it's one of the good new additions to the game, yet it always has controversy when rulings come out.
Yeah, there's always those small things that get changed back and forth and can flip and flop, and unfortunately that happened this year. So I think Retaliate falls in there somewhere. So that's changed back and forth a couple times. All right.
Why not?
one that was more recent around the Magneto character was all of the unauthorized spoilers being released. Full deck list, all the pictures, or content creators could release their authorized spoilers. So, a lot of drama around that one.
Yeah, it was quite the controversy, which from a Fantasy Flight perspective, it's pretty annoying when you try to, hype things up and kind of share with the community piece by piece and allowing content creators to, be a part of that, and then someone with a phone just snaps a photo and says, "Hey, I got my pack, 10 months early, and here you go."
Sure. Yeah, and I think there's different camps on that one. I think there's people that are, show me everything you've got as far out as possible, and there's those that, they'll just wait for the official release articles and maybe just kind of glance at those, but then really not find out about heroes until they crack it open and play it. So I think there's a wide range there.
Yep, absolutely. But to round it all off, Scott, the last community drama is sadly one of the designers is stepping back from the game. Does that mean the game is dead, Scott? Is the game dead?
Well, that's not,
Oh, don't jump the gun.
Jump the gun too fast there, Ryan. But, it raises questions of, the why. So I think they handled it moderately well. It wasn't like a huge blindside. I think they PR-wise did pretty good on that one.
Yeah. You always got to have a good PR team when it comes to the drama of the community.
Yeah. And when you kind of have that leadership shake up a little bit. So.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, Ryan. Give out an award. Should we do a single award for this one?
Are we going to combine?
Oh, well, if we were awesome and we could make our choices become the same one, we probably could, but I don't know what you're going to pick.
Well, don't worry about that, because the one I'm picking is Beast versus Magneto.
Well, that's the award right there, Ryan. That's one I was going to pick too.
Okay, I think this one has lasted all year, and people are just sad that they don't have Beast. And Magneto's great. I will give the team that, but how can you do an X-Men wave without Beast? One of the originals. Come on.
The OGs, I know.
And really, what I wanted is I just wanted another genius traded alter ego. So I could use that one card.
Now, I will say, I think Beast has become an Avenger at some point in time. And I think if they do some Avenger waves again, could he potentially be in there? That's a possibility. Who knows?
We can always hope. We can always hope.
All right, Ryan. One of my favorite awards, because it was very pertinent last year, but I still think it's got a little bit of pertinence this year, is our official The Game is Dead award.
Oh no. Insert sad music. Wah, wah, wah.
Yeah. So, why don't I take 1 and 3?
Okay, I'll
and you take 2 and 4,
just like last time. Okay.
Yeah. So number 1 is we had a slow rollout, right? We had just one wave through the whole year. In previous things, we had maybe 1 box, maybe 2 box. We had doubled up heroes every couple of months. A lot goes into that. So a lot more of a slowed down time frame getting heroes and announcements, and it was just slower. It was just a slower year, Ryan.
Yeah, just little piece by piece. Does that mean they're running out of ideas and the game is dying?
Does that mean the game's dead, Ryan?
Oh no, oh no. Well, Scott, for our next, I guess, nominee is Fantasy Flight, because at Gen Con, during one of their streams, they said the game isn't dead. But the question is, if they have to say it isn't dead, does that mean it's actually dying?
Yeah, someone who wants for you to think that the game's not dead is going to tell you the game's not dead.
That's right. Hey, it's an interesting world we live in. Reverse psychology type stuff. Here we go.
Mm-hmm. Yep. All right, Ryan. And another reason why we think the game might be dead is unauthorized spoilers being released.
Oh no, they're just sick of it.
The game is just so dead that they just released, the pack early. So.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. And of course, we all know the real reason why the game is dead. Caleb, the designer, is stepping back.
He's leaving. Oh, the game is dead. The game is dead.
The game is dead. I think they're just closing it all up and just packing it up.
The game's so dead that one of the designers is leaving, so.
Yeah.
We're just kidding, everyone. This is a disclaimer. We're just joking.
Or are we?
Or are we? And the game's dead. You heard it here first. The game is dead.
The game is dead. All right, Scott.
All right, Ryan. I am going to give the award to The Game Is Not Dead to Fantasy Flight Games for saying that the game is not dead.
I'm telling you, they're tricky people, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yep, that's actually the one I was going to do. I thought it was really funny that they mentioned it, and it was a good moment for the game. And, of course, I'm saying this without the FFG police standing right next to me over my shoulder, right, guys? And the game is great.
Yeah, it's going places. Many, many more years of wonderful content coming your way.
Yeah, and this award's sponsored by Fantasy Flight.
Yeah. All right, Ryan. We have now come to our most prestigious award. Well, actually, we have one more award. We have a way. And then our most prestigious award. Award that so much goes into every single year. We really have to think and vote on this one. And we're glad that our community voted this year. This is the first ever community voted on this particular prestigious award. But before we get to that, let's give away one more award, Ryan. Let's give away one more award for the best new signature ally.
Scott, I find it so funny that the most prestigious awards that we give out are related to allies and not like the heroes or villains and all.
Well, these are the unsung heroes of Marvel Champions.
That's
These
true.
signature allies can only be
real
played when the
heroes.
heroes played, and sometimes they can't even be played because of team up cards and playing with other heroes that have a hero is a signature ally. So they are our unsung heroes of Marvel Champions, and we want to make sure they get the dignity and respect they deserve, right?
Nah, very true. Well spoken. Dun dun dun. Applause.
Yes. All right, Ryan. I say we don't spend too much time, but I say we at least announce all of the nominees. It was a little bit of a unique year. We have one hero that does not have a signature ally, but we also have a hero that came with two signature allies.
Ooh.
And this year's nominees for the best new signature ally are Malcolm from Bishop and Randall from Bishop. Colossus from Magic. Snow Clone, which ironically there are two of, but we only included one of them, so sorry, Snow Clone number 2.
Yep. It was Snow Clone and Snow Cone.
Yes, that's right. With Iceman and Wolverine, that came with Jubilee, and the Daydripper with Nightcrawler. So,
Ooh, yep.
Some good new additions to Signature Allies this year, Ryan. But only one can take home Best New Signature Ally. And this year's award goes to Colossus.
You said Colossus?
Colossus.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. Colossus is really good.
He's just a good Signature Ally.
Yeah.
He's not for cost. He has toughness, and you can pull him out in some very unique ways.
Yeah. No, I agree. I think Colossus is a really, 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 really good Signature Ally. But it is not who I'd pick.
Oh.
I went with my gut, and I went with the one I always enjoy playing, and every time I saw this ally come up, I had to play it, and that's gonna be Wolverine.
Oh, okay.
I am not a fan of 4-cost allies, but the fact that you can pull Wolverine out and he can stay out for the entire game, and he can do so much damaging, he's got piercing, I think his value for Jubilee is greater than the value of Colossus for Magic.
Okay. Those were the two. Those are the two I was fighting on. But I squeaked out Colossus. I will say in all my Jubilee games, he was like MVP. Not even Jubilee. It was Wolverine. That was the MVP. And I'm like,
You're really just you're playing Wolverine just with the Jubilee skin. I mean, that's
right. Exactly.
It's no doubt. But the community does not agree with me.
Nope. They know who the true Marvel champion is. So why don't you go ahead, Ryan?
Fine. They chose Colossus.
Colossus.
I mean, pretty strong Colossus too. I mean, it wasn't close, but it's yeah, Colossus.
It's pretty good.
Yeah. Honorable mention for the community, second place, Day Tripper, and I think she is also a really good ally for Nightcrawler. I really enjoy playing her in a leadership deck.
And a close third was Snow Clone, which I think was good too. I really liked Snow Clone, the ability to not take consequential damage with a frostbite attached to the enemy. Pretty powerful. It's like 2 free, in most cases, 2 free damage, which I really like.
Yep. And the fact that it only costs 2 and does what it does, yeah, that's a win.
Yeah. And Ice and X-Men traded, so he's got ways to reduce the cost. Pretty good. Pretty good. I think overall Signature Allies are pretty good in this wave.
Yeah, even though our next ward we'll talk about it more, I don't think there was a dud in this class of Signature Allies.
Yeah, this was a good class of Signature Allies. It was hard to give the award to just one, but it's got to be done. Someone's got to do it, Ryan.
But of course, everything we've talked about thus far was just fluff in preparation for this single award, our favorite award.
Yes, and we hope that you've listened this far to hear who has won our most prestigious award. The one award we give out to remember from the core box on why this Signature Ally is picked every year. And this award is our honorable Rhodey Award.
So beautiful.
Play some music here, Ryan. Some like sad music. So Ryan, why don't you tell our listeners what the Rhodey Award is?
The Rhodey Award is a reflection of the signature ally of Iron Man, which is War Machine. And the Rhodey Award is just an ally that is really only used as a resource and never actually played because it's just not that great.
It's just not good.
Yeah, and when it comes down to it, Iron Man's signature ally, War Machine, I don't know if I've ever really played him. I think I have played him just to play him, but
Right.
there's really no reason to play
No.
him.
He was our first Rhodey Award winner, and therefore it was named after him.
Yeah,
This
that's
year's nominees, it was a tough, because like we've said so far, this has been a good class. But unfortunately, somebody from each year has to get this award.
Yes. Yes, it's sad, but it must be done. And the nominees are the exact same as the Best New Signature Ally ones. And do you want me to just pull the Band-Aid?
Do it. Let's just give it out. It's time. We've waited this long, Ryan.
The Rhodey Award goes to Malcolm.
Malcolm.
Yes. And the community, over 50% agrees it's Malcolm.
It's Malcolm. Someone's got to win it. Malcolm, congratulations. What do you want to tell our listeners, Malcolm? That's what his card's saying right there.
His actual card says multiple contacts engaging.
Oh, thank you for those thoughtful, insightful words, Malcolm.
Yes.
You are part of an elite few. It's kind of like the Heisman, so.
That's true. It's as prestigious as the Heisman.
Yep.
I will note that I don't know what the community is thinking, but a large portion chose Wolverine as the Rhodey.
Yeah, Wolverine got a lot.
I'm quite surprised and sad
Yeah,
because I like Wolverine.
yeah.
Good times. Community's great.
Community is great. All right, Ryan. Well, that is all of our awards given out tonight. We did throw in a couple bonus questions to the community.
This was a beautiful ceremony. It was great.
Yeah, this was good. This is a wonderful year. I think a solid year for Marvel Champions. One that will go down in history for 2024.
Yeah. 5th year anniversary. Good heroes, good villains. I mean, yeah, it was a very strong year. The game is not dead, apparently.
The game is not dead, and they even told us that.
That's right.
All right, so we queried the community here, and what was some of their anticipated or wishful thinking for future releases? And a large majority said Fantastic Four.
Yeah.
Any that stuck out to you, Ryan, that you want to shout out other than Fantastic Four?
As always, Daredevil is one that the community is waiting for. They're ready. They are ready for the blind lawyer, the devils of Hell's Kitchen. Did I say devils? The
You
devil.
said Devils, yeah.
Yeah,
Devil of
yeah.
Hell's
I
Kitchen.
mean,
Yeah, I'm leaving that one in.
Whatever. But yeah, that's what they're waiting for.
We'll just do a couple of honorable mentions. Someone did say Beast, so shout out to you.
We got you, Beast.
Yeah. Somebody wants more mutants. They want to go all mutants all the time. New Mutants, X Factor, Excalibur. They just want mutants. Mutant champions, what they want.
Yeah, they threw some oddball ones. Someone threw out Namor, which is interesting. And one that sounds interesting, like a one-off multiverse set, which sounds pretty interesting.
Yeah, I think that one ties a little bit to another one that I saw was some first wave reworks. So maybe fixing or like a card pack that you can kind of supplement from some older heroes, maybe.
Yeah, give some love to Ground Stomp.
Yeah, that's right.
Make it a little bit better, and bring it up with the modern age.
Yep. So a lot of big Marvel names is we're just waiting for them to come. So we'll just have to wait until they get here.
Do you have a most anticipated thing coming up? It doesn't have to be a hero necessarily, but
I was thinking about that recently, and I think it was like a villain. and I can't remember what it was. I had worked it up in my mind. I'm like, oh, that would be cool, or that'd be a cool villain. But I think maybe for me would be like a gamma wave. I think being able to see some, like the
Oh.
leader, Maestro, maybe an Abomination, and then have like an A-bomb. There's a couple of those reworks. You could do like a Red Hulk or something. So maybe a gamma wave I think would be interesting.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I think that would have some interesting. I feel like I've used interesting a lot.
Yeah,
It sounds like it would be a fun, I guess, wave or box or whatever. So maybe make Hulk a little bit better. Introduce some
Right.
more cards to help him.
Or like a World War Hulk or something.
Yeah, yeah.
All right, Ryan,
I-
what about you?
Yeah, I think. Well, I will say that I wasn't at first excited for the shield box, but I have come around onto it. I'm looking forward to what it's gonna bring. I think the heroes look pretty interesting. The villains that we've seen so far look pretty interesting, and it just kind of made me think about, the future. And I think I'm excited, not necessarily for like Defenders or Daredevil, but I'm thinking I'm getting a little more excited for villains like Kingpin. Almost like a street level villain in a way. Just thinking about it, like how would you design Kingpin? How would you make him? And I'm thinking with the way the game has been going and the designers how they've been doing it, I think they'll come up with a clever way of making that villain, and I'm excited for it to not be just like punch the villain and you win, just finding other ways. And I feel like those type of villains like a Kingpin, it's not all about just punching it. There's more dynamics to it, so I'm looking forward to more unique scenarios with a wave like that.
Interesting. Yeah. I think for me, I think that wave for that box would be cool to do like a like a tower level crawl. I think it would be an
Yeah.
interesting concept.
Yeah, we've
For the
talked about it
campaign.
before.
Yeah.
Mhm. Yeah. Which, hey, maybe we should have done that for the campaign competition.
Contest.
I-
Well,
I actually thought about that after we had did ours. I was like, you know what? That'd be fun if we would have done one like that. So
all right. We did though a random question about things that people want to see from us or things that they like. So we are really appreciative of all the love that was shared our way. So thank you, thanks everybody for listening. Your feedback means a lot to us.
yeah, I mean, as part of the end of the year, we're very thankful for everyone that listens and emails us with questions. And people filling out the survey, and it's been fun doing this. And we definitely wouldn't be doing this if it wasn't for the support of the community. And just really thankful that we get to just chat together about a game we love playing, and people seem to enjoy it.
Yep. I did find a weird one on here, Ryan. It says, quote, "I want to hear more of Ryan. He is the best." Close quote.
Oh yeah, that sounds like a really good one.
So, you know who you are out there. Ryan
Yes.
appreciates you.
Yes, I appreciate that single person. You know what? You're the best. That's right. You are. You know who you are. You're the best.
Yeah. I should have made sure that question was locked down for some people.
Well, there's always 2025.
2025. Yep. So we'll take some of this. I don't want to promise anything because life's crazy and busy, and we're just two random dudes on the internet with the time that we have to make this. So we'll keep doing what we're doing, and we'll keep putting out what we can. So,
Yeah.
all right, Ryan. Any last words before we close out the night, before that music starts playing us off the stage?
Yeah, I think it would be good just to let the listeners know we are going to take a week off to enjoy the holidays with the family. So there will not be an episode the next week after this comes out. But don't worry, we will still be back. We don't have plans to end. But, sometimes you got to have just a little break. And we, despite the amount of time we have or do on this show, we do love our families. And so we're going to spend a little time with them.
That's right,
But
Ryan.
you guys are a true family.
All right. What an amazing award show, Ryan. So many twists and turns. Awards that I just did not see coming.
And our awards are final. Like we're right. Of course.
They just are. Yeah.
Don't listen to anyone else.
No. Yeah. Congratulations to all of our winners. It's very deserving. And the most important thing, that if you think that we were wrong on an award, we want to hear about it. You had your opportunity with the survey, but if you think that we should snatch that award out from somebody's hands, we want to hear about it. And you email us at marvelchampionspod@gmail.com. And as always, we appreciate everybody listening. And if you want to go from a chump to a champ, listen to the Marvel Champions podcast. Thanks.
Let's go 2025. It's going to be great.